Greetings and welcome everyone to my first impressions of Gravity Ghost. Gravity Ghost is a 2D platformer or 2D puzzle platformer that is currently available on Steam for $15 or $20 if you want to buy the game and the soundtrack. With that being said, let's get the game started so I can explain what it is all about. So, the game starts with you basically just being in this weird void and you're not really sure what's going on, and then your ghost fox decides to run away. And well, the story's told in a very non-linear fashion, so I'm not entirely sure what exactly is going on, but from what I've been able to piece together, basically you're trying to find your fox friend who's a ghost, and in order to do that, you've just got to, go around this area and all these levels and help the people around them solve puzzles. You can't die or anything like that, so there's no real threats, there's no enemies, you're just jumping around. So it's a bit of a 2D Super Mario Galaxy, I guess might be some way to describe it. So I've not played it with a keyboard and mouse, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what? I'll just get the Xbox 360 controller. There we are. So it's a very momentum-driven platformer, I guess you could say. Not like Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever, but it's like you want to try and control your momentum, and because a lot of the planets or planetoids have the ability to suck you up into the gravity, so you've got to be careful of the gravity and do all that jazz. And that was interesting. So you have these different abilities. That's I believe this is earth, this is air or just default, and this is water. And if you walk around a planet, you can change its sort of like element, I guess might be the correct word. And so with that, so by doing that, you can like help solve puzzles, change them. So you just change the planetoid. So just let's turn. So we can swim through this. So if there's a star in here, we could say go in the middle and pick it up. But if we go into our Earth element and go all around town, we can now walk around on it much simpler. And now it's got its own gravity and everything like that on the outside. So we can use it to get out. Oh, hey, hello, a cutscene.
Where are you going?
So what's good about this game is that it's actually got some voice acting, which is really surprising. I didn't expect it to have voice acting, but then I looked at the Steam store page, and it's actually got quite a few well-known voice actors. Like the company that made this, they've got like what, 4 people, something like that, a ridiculously tiny company, and then they've got these these voice actors, and these are some very well-known voice actors. You've got Ashley Birch from Hey Ash, What You Playing, Aliens, Colonial Marines, and Borderlands 2. Oh, and Chloe from Life is Strange, a game that recently came out. And then you've also got like Logan Cunningham, best known for the narrator from Bastion and the sword in Transistor, or whatever his name is. I've not played much of Transistor, I'm sorry, that's my deep dark secret. Yeah, so they've got a lot of well-known voice actors, and it's cool to see. Anyway, let's try and capture this little animal. Maybe I can. There we are. Now, you hold animals onto you with your hair, and then you've got to find them their bones or something like that. And then after doing so, you get a cutscene as a sort of reward for your efforts. So you look up here, you see right there on Spring Tides, that's a skeleton, and it looks like it'll fit our little animal, so let's go save it. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Alright, so we can't go through these middle ones, or like we can't use the gravity, we can only break them. Well, no, we can actually. Can I maybe break this one with my... Yep, there we are, with my anchor. So you can use an anchor to change your gravity and push you down, or use LT to float. RT is the anchor. Let me just pick that up. There we are. Now the door's open, so let's try and get over here. Oh no, be careful. Don't wanna fall into the empty void that is space and, be stuck out there and for an eternal hell and get frozen over and then, you know, go insane until your mind gives up and stops thinking and just enjoys eternity as a hell. An eternity of hell, rather. Anyway, we need to collect that skeleton. Let's see if I can't do it. Glide over there. Oh, hammer. There we are. And now, once we bring them back together, a nice little cutscene will play, and she'll like give him a hug or whatever. Like, try and hear it.
Welcome to space.
There, welcome to space. The first one I heard was, welcome to the afterlife. Here is your hug, or something like that. It was a bit bizarre. Anyway, let's get that. There we are. Now we can get out of here. And a cutscene should play. There we are. This game's got a really gorgeous art style. I quite like it. It looks like a very
Visiting that batty old woman?
it looks like a, well, I don't know what you'd call it, a children's book, a very young children's book sort of thing. I don't quite like this lady's voice, the older sister. Something about her microphone sounds a bit weird. In one of the earlier cutscenes, she was talking and you could hear a very loud, or not a very loud buzz, but you could hear a buzz every time she spoke, and then when she stopped it would go away, and then when she spoke again it would come back. I don't know if it's that noticeable if you're not a video editor like me, because, you know, I have to, you know, edit voices and audio and all that because I'm doing commentaries, and I'd hate for people to hear any sort of background noise, so I've become very perceptive of that sort of stuff. So maybe it's not that much of a bother to other people, but it is to me. But thankfully, it's got subtitles and all that, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much. You could just turn it down turn the voices off in the options menu. Wait, no, you can't. That's right. This game doesn't have any audio options. I totally forgot. That's actually a major complaint I have about this game. There are really only two complaints. I say major because this is really it. This game's pretty damn good as it is. Like, there's nothing else that I can really complain about. So there's only two complaints I have with this game. One, no audio options. You have to do it in the Windows taskbar or whatever, and in order to turn it down. So if it's too loud, you've got to Alt Tab, turn it down that way. There's no way to actually turn it down. There's not even like a generic master volume. What? Why not? And so I would also like the options to turn down all the voice volumes, turn down or turn up music, turn up or turn down you know, sound effects, stuff like that, because I think the sound effects are a bit too loud. And the other complaint I have is that, well, if you go back to settings, look, there's barely any settings, like no control options. I'm sorry, what? Why not? I want to be able to change my controller config. I'm not a big fan of using LTRT. Oh, whoa, I can change my color. Oh wait, no, it's the, oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of using LTRT for these things. I would like to swap them around, or maybe if I use the PS4 controller, I'd like to swap them around to the other ones, or, you know, just, I'd like to swap these, you know, it's just, I don't think that's too much to ask for. And I'd also like to be able to change the controller layout, or at least just get shown what the controller layouts are, because if I swap in between the keyboard and all that, I don't know what I even did there. If I swap between, say, the keyboard and the controller and I miss a tutorial or whatever, there's no way for me to see, like, oh, what's my control setup? There's no, like, if they can't give you, like, remappable controls, then at the very least, give us, you know, some A/B type of controls or whatever like that. Like, oh, if you want to play with your swap elements and glide, anchor thing swapped around, then maybe do that, or give you the option to, I don't know, just some options in general would be nice, because, you know, just something is better than nothing. And ideally, I would prefer to have, like, fully remappable controls to the point where, and if anyone's upset with, like, the slightest thing, they can change it to their heart's content, because, you know, there's no one size fits all when it comes to controllers. So you should try to just allow people to choose their own sort of stuff. I don't know. I think that'd be best. Perhaps for, like, maybe disabled people. I'm going on a bit long about this topic, but I am very, I am very annoyed when games don't have controller options or anything like that, but I'm also only going on about that so much because it's one of the few flaws that this game actually does have. So it's bizarre that it, you know, they just haven't already fixed it or whatever. Because this game has been out for a little while. I figured like maybe, oh well, I mean, it's one of the very few flaws, and you know, I'm fairly certain like all the reviews have mentioned how it needs to have that sort of stuff, yet it hasn't. So I figured like, oh, maybe they'll patch it because, you know, totally should. Which they totally should patch it and allow you to get like controller configs and all that. That'd be great. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some momentum stuff here. Now let's go up here. As far as the Super Mario Galaxy comparison goes, it is a much easier game than Super Mario Galaxy. Significantly easier. There's no enemies at all, so right there, you're already done. It's already way easier, and it's 2D instead of 3D. And really the only sort of comparisons you have is the planetoids and their gravity and swapping between them and such. So that's what you've really got to remember when I say like it's like Super Mario Galaxy. Oh, and I guess the fact that you're collecting the grand stars all around here. I believe you just gotta do something with this. We gotta go somewhere else. Oh, we gotta fly around. Okay. Yeah, so you got to collect your grand stars and all that to get new powers and whatnot. That's a black hole thing, isn't it? That's bizarre. Yeah, and you got to do that to unlock new areas in the world. So if you have X amount of stars, you can unlock X world, but if you don't have that amount, you've got to go back to some of the levels and collect them. Unfortunately, like Super Mario Galaxy, you don't ever go back to like the same one with a different mission or anything like that. These areas are very self-contained. There's no real themes to them or anything like that. So yeah, it's more like just your average level, sort of like it's like a 2D Super Mario Galaxy, I guess, would be the best way. Oh, it's one of these things. I hate these. Oh, man, I've never been good at these. What are these even called, by the way? I've seen these, like, all the time. They're always on, like, the back of, like, a, they'd always be, like, they'd be on, like, the back of a cereal box, or you'd get them as a reward in a cereal box, and I never understood what they were called. Is it a maze, or is there another term for it? I don't really know, but I see these sorts of stuff in games all the time, and I just do not like them at all. There was in Assassin's Creed Liberation, it was in Lara Croft and the Temple of Light. That thing went right through that. That was a cheat. Look, it went right oh. How did it? That was weird. Alright, see, I found a glitch. Now I just gotta find out if that was like 100% repro rate or if that's just an occasional thing. Would you get out? Yeah, thank you. Slacker. Alright, come on. Tiny things are pulled towards you. Okay, that's interesting. Let me get some momentum and get out of here. Time to leave this place. Let's see. So, where was I? Okay, let's go over here though. 40. There we are. I think that's the penultimate world. No, 50 is the penultimate world. 60 is the final one. Okay. Yeah, there's really not that much more to go on or any sort of complaints that I have with this game aside from the ones that I went on and on about. But yeah, this is a really nice game. Very pretty. Got a nice soundtrack, some nice voice acting. Just fixed the two small issues that I have with this game, and I would recommend this with no faults. Like, as if it had no faults. But until then, well, it does have some faults, obviously. Anyway, on that note, thank you for sticking around, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and you can check out this game on Steam. There will be a link in the description, and also be sure to follow my Steam curator page for more recommendations on video games. GG.